friends, welcome back to the channel. So today, obviously, we have a slightly different venue just due to the fact that it has been raining out and I've not been able to get outside to film this video. But today we are going to be talking about garden planning. So hopefully I can get this explained for you very, very simply and very, very easily in about 5 minutes. You know planning is hard, right? Yes, I know that planning can be hard. You really think you can explain this quickly? I can give the basics in like 5 minutes. Right. Whatever. Okay, so here's the basis of what I do for garden planning. Now, I have a notebook. You can do any type of notebook that you prefer. I prefer something that's a little bit hardback because I usually do take it out into the garden and it can tend to get wet, so that may be something to take into consideration for you. Maybe you're not worried about that. You do you, boo. But I have this as a hardback. Now inside this, what I do, I plan based upon my beds. So I know that I have 3 7-foot beds, and then I have 3 beds that are 4-foot beds. So because of that, what I do is I end up drawing out my long beds into 7 inches. Now, you can be a little bit more exacting in this if you prefer and use a gridded paper and literally do a grid system if you want to be that detailed. I plan 1 inch for basically every plant. So 1 inch per 1 foot onto paper is how I translate it for me. Like I said, I know it's not exactly exact, but it does help me in my mind to be able to space things out in a appropriate manner, which is the main thing that you need to do when you are small space gardening, is allot the correct amount of space for certain plants. And we can talk about that on another video. So I do this, I sketch it out, 1 for a long bed, and then I also do my short beds all on 1 page. And then me personally, what I used to do versus what I do now I just write out into the quadrants on my little drawing here. I used to, a long time ago, would get the stickies from over at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Michael's too, and you can cut out little bitty squares of paper that you can actually peel off. So if you want something, say a chart that you do once and don't have to do again, you can get the little sticky backs that allow you to peel things off so that you can change things up from year to year as you need to in your garden space. That is also a viable option. Like I said, I don't do that anymore because I find keeping track of what I do from 1 year to the next to be helpful, because sometimes I do forget how I have planned things out in previous years, and this just helps me to keep track of it. The other thing that this allows me to do is to see how efficiently I have been using my space. So I will refer back to the year before, which what you're seeing here is the year before, and I will look at that versus what I did the year before that and look at what my yields are on all of my produce. If I had a higher yield of tomatoes, then I probably don't need to give as much space to tomatoes, and I can cut down how many tomatoes I'm planting, versus maybe I need to plant a few more cucumbers so I have more of the pickles available for the family. It varies in that sense, but one way or another, my space allotment is always the same. And then being able to look back at my trends over the last few years actually helps me to plan for the next year, which is where we are right now. So if you haven't started looking into garden planning, probably should start setting something down now, at least at minimum, coming up with what you plan on planting, and then researching how much space they do or do not need, and how much space you do or don't have, and then buying your seeds accordingly, because there are dwarf heirloom varietals that you can do in a small space, and I mean, they give you excellent yields. So you know what, you can't go wrong there, personally, just saying. So that is how I basically plan out my garden. If you have any questions or want a few more details on that, go on ahead and drop a comment down below. I would be happy to answer those, or do maybe more of a deep dive into a video on that. And as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. And don't forget, I have a wait list going on for our Soil Fertility 101. So go on ahead and drop down below into the description box below. I will have a link set up to that for you to grab that guide, because soil fertility is really where it's at if you're wanting a high yield garden, no matter how small your space is. That's really where it's at, people. Okay? See you on the next